Hello, I'm Eric with Narrow Road Van Conversions. Welcome to our latest build. Why don't you come on in and have a look around. Welcome to our latest build. This is a Ford Transit F350 long, tall. So this van was a passenger van, and I did have some reservations about building a passenger van, but it actually turned out way better than I thought. So I'm super excited to show this one to you. First, I love all the windows. I just think the panoramic view in here is just going to be spectacular. We removed all the seats and took those out and foamed the floor, and we kept a few things from the original passenger van, like the rear air conditioning and the rear heater, so those are actually integrated in. We're starting off here in the back. This is the first dinette style table slash bed that we've done, and we're excited about it. It shows the diversity that we're capable of at Narrow Road Van Conversions. So we've got a table here that is on a Lagoon table mount that can pivot out and pivot around to a whole bunch of different positions. It can be up as extra counter space, or it can go down in between the benches here to make a bed. And the cushions then will come in to finish off the mattress. Other things here in the back, we've got Sirocco fans here in the back. Those are nice on a hot day. They rotate 360 degrees, so they can go in any position. Really nice for keeping you cool. We kept the windows that came with the passenger van back here, so you've got a couple of windows that will wing out. Under the bench seat over here, we've got all the electrical, and under the bench seat over here, we have all the plumbing. Back in the back here, we have some storage area. Most of the storage area in here is going to be the upper cabinets, but in here you can see straight through there. So you could lift this up and kind of access the small garage area back here. Moving higher up in the back end, we've got a skylight that can be manually opened and closed. It has a sunshade, and it's kind of neat. They magnet together or clip together here, so you can keep them as one. So switch from sunshade to a screen, or you can unclip them and just have the open skylight. Back here, we've got lots of storage. On this side, we've got the normal 3 bins that we have. We perfectly calculated the amount of space that you need to stand up and sit down back here so that you don't hit your head or hit your shoulders trying to maximize space. This is kind of the spot that you would have for long storage. It's a larger compartment, goes all the way back to this corner and all the way back into here. So if you had something longer that you wanted to bring along, like a lawn chair or something, this is where it would fit. So moving a little bit further up in the van from the rear, we've got some extra counter space here. So these wings will flip up for extra counter space, or if it's just a couple people sitting and eating, they can sit and kind of spin around and eat there. On the other side, you can see we did the same thing here. We've got a little flip-up table here and a little spot for when you're sleeping you can put your cell phone. One of the neat things we incorporated in here is behind the counters, we actually made these bins back here, so you can actually set things back there. On this side, I could imagine sleeping, putting your keys and your mobile phone. On this side, over behind the sink, you can see that we Have a little pocket in back behind here. That'll be nice for spices or maybe a little plant. Just little nooks and crannies are always really nice for storage and extra space in these vans. Down below the flip-up table, you can see that we've got a DC charging spot. Under here you can see our flip-up mechanisms for the flip-up countertop. Moving back across to the other side, you can see we have another DC charging port on that side for people to charge their phones while sleeping over there. Moving up above the table, you can see here we have a propane and carbon monoxide detector. Next to that is the air heater controls. It's a Propex, you can see there. Next to that is a household outlet. Up above the household outlet, you can see there's a switch. That is for the hot water heater. The main way you heat the water in here would be the engine coolant cycles through the hot water heater. But if you were camping for long periods of time, you would use this switch to electrically heat your water. The other switch below the roof vent fan remote control is the on and off for the inverter. So that's a remote switch for that. Here we've put the table down into the bed position. And here it is with the cushions put together in the bed formation. We've got a sink and a faucet and a soap dispenser. Moving up forward from there, we have a propane cooktop and propane oven. Propane cooktop has a flip-up cover to expose the 3 burners. This oven is pretty cool. When you light it on, you know that it's on because of the red indicator. So it's kind of a nice little safety feature for that. And it also has backup lights that you can turn on for the oven light and for the blue rings. They turn red. They turn red when they're on. So they let you know if they're on. Up ahead of that, we have the flip-up table for the passenger seat. This flip-up is interesting. We made it so that it can flip up and be at counter height, but it also can adjust down to be table height for the passenger seat. It is in the down position for the passenger, and then it can also come up to counter height. It's kind of a neat little feature. Up above the oven, we have some more light switches. Over here we have a couple of extra switches for the roof that run out if they ever decided to put extra lights or something else out there. Here's the battery monitor that we can cycle through and see that we've got 99.9% of battery. Over here are light switches for the area over the seating. There's also a dimmer switch to dim those up and down. Over here is the light switch for the countertop. Same thing. You can dim those up and down. Behind that, we've got our normal upper cabinetry. Down below, we have the ones that hinge down, and up above, we have the ones that hinge up. So we like that, just for some extra shelf space if you're cooking or want to set something else on there and you don't have enough counter space. Moving across the aisle, we have upper storage bin that flips up, and we have a Norcold refrigerator and freezer. So the top part here is a freezer, and then the lower part is a refrigerator. This is kind of neat. We put our own panels in there and stain those to match the cabinetry. Seems to be a really nice fridge. 12 volt DC is what it runs off of. Moving forward to the shower area, we've got a push button waterproof light switch for the shower. We've got a shower head up above, and our normal shower valve that can be adjusted but can also be held in its position while you shut the water on and off. Below the shower, there is a C-head toilet in this van. This was a customer request. It's a little bit different toilet, a little bit less expensive. It's kind of neat how it uses regular reusable containers for the liquids and the solids. In here you can see the urine diverter goes down into a gallon jug, so you can actually have extra gallon jugs on hand or put a cap on it and put a new one in there. And the back portion for the solids is a 5-gallon bucket. So it's kind of neat that you could easily find those replacement parts rather than ordering some specialized part. And then we've got a shower drain. And we have the Nautilus retractable shower door in this also, which we have in most all of our builds. Moving up forward ahead of that, this water filter system is a large water filter system. It actually filters all of the water for everything, so even the shower. So everything is filtered in this van. Above that, we have a wardrobe, and then an upper cabinet up there. We put in a Vanlife headliner in this also, and a curtain track with a couple of curtains for blacking out across the front doors. A passenger swivel seat. Another neat thing that we did in this van is we put a couple of switches here on the dash. One is for the gray water tank, and the other one is for forward-facing fog lights. Moving out around the outside, you can see we've got a step here. We've got some storage underneath that cabinet for some flip-flops or a rug. Up above, we've got 5 100-watt solar panels. Around the back and onto the driver's side. Here we have the outlet for the shore power, and down here is the remote fill for the propane tank. The propane tank is underneath here, mounted behind the axle, so that if anything came down the road, the axle would hit first and not hit the propane tank. Up above there, you can see the fog lights or the off-road lights that are operated by that dash mount switch. Looking in the back end here, you can see we've got a little garage space down here. Over here, we've got the shower, external shower with hot and cold. You can plug in a hose and a shower head to that. And over on this side, we have the water fill or water drain. And in this van, we really came up, we innovated with a great system of 6 valves that can actually make this a city water input. A hose can be attached to this to suck water up out of a bucket or suck RV antifreeze. This system is easily winterized with a air compressor blowout built in also. But by moving a series of these levers, which there's a key to, you can do city water, you can have it under regular use, you can fill the tank, and you can empty the tank. So it's a great universal system for utilizing one input-output. So we're pretty proud of that. There's a 40-gallon freshwater tank in here that's underneath the seat, which is actually quite big for being underneath the bench. So it was a struggle to fit all the electronics and the plumbing into this back U-shaped seating area. So here we are on the driver's side of the rear. We're gonna go through some of these compartments and see what's in them. Down here, This has some storage. It has that air compressor blowout that we talked about for blowing out the system for winterization. So in here's the water pump switch. Moving one compartment back. This is the water tank. No real storage in here. Just a 40-gallon freshwater tank. Back here, accessibility for that rear storage area without having to exit the vehicle. Over here, we have the inverter, the hose for the outside shower, the air conditioner that came with the van as a passenger van. That blows up and discharges right there in behind those cushions. So we integrated that in. You can see a little bit of the batteries and some plumbing there too, and the shore power outlet. Up above that, you see a couple more Battleborns. The hot water heater that uses the engine antifreeze for heating the water. The water that's in there is very hot, so it also has a thermostatic mixing valve that mixes the cold in with the hot so that it's not scalding hot when it comes out. Also has a electric backup for heating it. One forward of that, this is the electric compartment. You can see the other two Battleborn batteries for a total of 4 100 amp hour batteries. We have our DC fuse box in there. There's a solar charge controller in there. There is a Victron Orion battery isolator and charger to charge the batteries from the alternator. A master power switch. So that's a busy little compartment. There's ventilation in behind, comes up through the toe kick, and then out behind the back bench, in behind the refrigerator. There's ventilation in back in there, and then the refrigerator has a fan that circulates air around the bottom and the top of it so that it stays ventilated in that compartment back there. Thanks for coming along on the walkthrough. If you'd like a custom-made van exactly to your specifications, send me an email in the link below and I'd be happy to get an estimate out to you. Happy travels. See you next time.